2.1. Transformations of quadratic functions. The quadratic parent function f of x equals x squared, or y equals x squared has a graph, that is a parabola with vertex at the origin 0, 0. To translate this parent function horizontally, add or subtract h from x, or replace x with x plus or minus h, plus h to move left, minus h to move right. For example, f of x equals the quantity of x minus 1 squared has a graph of the parent function shifted right 1 unit. To translate the parent function vertically, add or subtract k from the entire function, plus k to move up k units and minus k to move down k units. For example, f of x equals x squared minus 1 has graph of parent function shifted 1 unit down. To reflect the parent function in the x-axis, replace f of x with the opposite of f of x or equivalently. Multiply the entire function by -1, giving the new function f of x equals the opposite of the quantity x squared. The graph of this function is the parent function reflected in or across the x-axis. A reflection the y-axis can be done algebraically by replacing x with the opposite of x, resulting in the new function f of x equals the opposite of x squared. Since the square of a negative is always positive, this simplifies to f of x equals x squared. It is the same graph as the parent function because the parent function has y-axis symmetry. Reflecting it in the y-axis results in same graph. Shrinkage and stretch of quadratic functions. To horizontally stretch or shrink the parent function, replace x with a times x, giving the new function f of x equals the quantity of a times x squared. If the constant a is between 0 and 1, it is a horizontal stretch. If the constant a is greater than 1, it is a horizontal shrink. For example, f of x equals the quantity of 2x squared is a horizontal shrink because a which is equal to 2 is greater than 1. F of x equals the quantity of 1/2 x squared is a horizontal stretch because a is less than 1 and greater than 0. It has a graph of the parent function stretched horizontally by a factor of 2. Vertical stretches. To stretch or shrink the parent function vertically, multiply the entire function by a constant a. It is a vertical stretch if a is greater than 1, and it is a vertical shrink if a is between 0 and 1. For example, f of x equals 2 times x squared is a vertical stretch by a factor of 2. F of x equals 1/2 times x squared is a vertical shrink by a factor of 2.